Over the last 9 years, I've continued to fulfill my potential by rewriting my life's code. And these are the 6 elements for the ultimate success blueprint to bring you to a whole new level. First element right away, calling and purpose. We need to redesign your entire identity to allow yourself to be in alignment with your ultimate calling and purpose. We're going to reference the great book, I'm sure you've heard about it before, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Now, the idea here is that if we can change our identity and change our self-image and align ourselves with our calling and purpose, things will start to really rapidly move forward for you very quickly. Let's take a look. So what he talks about in here, first part, there is within each one of us a life instinct, which is forever working toward health, happiness, and all that makes for more life for the individual. This life instinct works for you through what I call the creative mechanism, or what used correctly is called the success mechanism. Essentially what we're talking about here before we go on to our next part is that we want to make sure we have an entire new identity script happening. First part here is we need to describe your calling and purpose. So what is your calling and purpose in this life? Do you know what it is? Do you know that there's a part of you that's already living it or not? Where are you at with that? If you don't know what your calling and purpose is just yet, one of the number one things to do is write down, what do you love to do in your spare time? If you were sitting around a campfire with friends all night, what could you stay up till 3 a.m. in the morning talking about? What are those topics? What things would you do for free, even if you weren't paid to do them? Those are the topics that are part of your calling and your purpose. Even if you're not living that right now, describe what it is. Now, if you are living that, describe what that is in a paragraph form. Second element, really important, is writing down your new theme. Now, your new theme here is basically, what is my theme going to be for the next 12 months? Maybe your theme right now is one of lack. Maybe things are always kind of slow to come. Maybe things are just not going as fast as you want them to. Or maybe your theme is one of frustration. Try and track the things you want. You're trying to manifest, you're trying to go through the right resources, books and videos, but things and results are a little slow to come. What is the theme that's going on right now? Maybe you're actually doing very well in life. Things are in flow, things are going pretty well. But what's your upgraded theme? Quantum leap might be your new theme. Abundance, ultimate thriving. What is that new theme for you? And you want to go ahead and write that down. Let's reference why in Psycho-Cybernetics again. That creative mechanism is going to help you create that theme and actually see it in your life. So let's talk about it. The so-called subconscious mind is not a mind at all, but a mechanism, a goal-striving servo mechanism, consisting of the brain and nervous system, which is used by and directed by the mind. This creative mechanism within you is impersonal. It will work automatically and impersonally to achieve goals of success or happiness, or unhappiness and failure, depending upon the goals which you yourself set for it. Present it with the success goals and it functions as a success mechanism. So, if you have been believing in your life that the theme that you carry right now is your life, and that's basically how life is supposed to be, your subconscious mind, which is not a mind at all, as he was talking about, it's a mechanism that will find and make sure the theme that you think and dominate in your consciousness, it'll come about. That will be the end result. So if you can start studying, what's my new theme? Putting energy and putting attention into this new theme. As you do so, your subconscious mind is going to find a way to have that new theme become reality, even if it's false right now. Let's go into number 3. You're going to write down, and remember all of this is on a script. You can do it in like a Word document or Google Docs. Write down your calling purpose, your new theme, and now your achievements, but here's the catch, in third person. You're going to write them as if you're creating a script like a movie. So for me, I would say, Scott is doing this, Scott has accomplished this, Scott has blank. So you're going to fill in your name doing that. The reason is, and you want to put this in the past tense, is that your servo mechanism doesn't know what time is. All time is now to the subconscious mind. Past, present, future, it's all in one moment, right here, right now. Conscious mind, we don't understand that. Yesterday was yesterday, tomorrow's tomorrow. we don't really get what that means to have all time right now, right? Because we experience a conscious timeline moment to moment to moment in our consciousness. But your subconscious, not knowing what time is, needs to be convinced that it's already happened in this moment, as if it's already done in a higher dimension. So if you're going to talk about from a third person point of view in the past tense, what it does is teaches your servo mechanism, hey, this should have already been done by now. This is already done. We better make sure that that's the actual thing that's going on in the reality right now. And it automatically does this for you. It's a great gift. Most people have no idea this is actually going on in their life. So let's continue here. As we start to look at page 15 here, he says, the goals that our creative mechanism seeks to achieve are mental images, or mental images which we create by the use of the imagination. The key goal image is our self-image. Our self-image prescribes the limits for the accomplishment of any particular goals. It prescribes the area of the possible. Isn't this interesting? Our subconscious mind doesn't believe in what your mom or dad said was possible, or what your family members or society says, or what political leaders say, or the society around you in your local town, or your friends and family. What it describes as possible or impossible for you is what it's convinced of as an image in your subconscious mind. Which leads us to number 4 that you want to go through is the qualities and characteristics of who you're trying to become. Because if you're trying to become somebody in this life, what we're talking about here is what self-image are you trying to upgrade yourself in? Who are you trying to become? An awakened man, an awakened woman, one of abundance instead of lack, one that's more peaceful and happy instead of unhappy and in anxiety? What is it that you are looking to grow into? The self-image is what you're growing into, and that's a servo mechanism. It will strive to find a way to have that reality be yours already, and it's working on your behalf. It's like a butler. So number 4 is the qualities. Who are you becoming? What does that look like? So you describe yourself in the qualities and the characteristics. Determined, courageous, abundant, thriving. So describe the experience you would like to have in your life. Aligned, peaceful, thriving. And I would say as a bonus, if you're open to it, is go on Google and actually describe and get the definitions of each of these qualities. Because we think we know what thriving actually means, but when you go on Google and actually get the definition, it provides you a vast amount of understanding, like, wow, that's actually what thriving is. And you can start to actually study the element, the quality that you're looking for, and it's easier to embody it. You know how to act in it when you're really clear on it. Now, stepping into number 5 here is one of my favorites, and I think one of the most important, and that's your principles. Let's go back to our reading here as we talk about self-image and how it pertains to your next reality. Like any other servo mechanism, our creative mechanism works upon information and data which we feed into it, which is our thoughts, beliefs, and interpretations. Through our attitudes and interpretations of situations, we describe the problem to be worked on. So if you're telling your mind the interpretation of something happens and you say, I must not be worthy. Or if you're talking to your somebody in your life and they're saying all these things and maybe it's critical or judgmental and you take it on and you get reactive. What this is saying ultimately is, I'm not enough. I don't feel like I am who I could be. What we want to write down is the opposite, your principles. What do you live by, rules-wise? And when you can start writing down your principles in life, you start to have that servo mechanism find a way to make those rules also a reality. What kind of principles would you like to start living by right now in this moment? And finally, number 6 is feelings. What feelings would you like to upgrade? If you were to have an experience of your most ideal self, your most ideal life, what would those feelings be? So let's go back to the reading. Your program for getting more living out of life consists in, first of all, learning something about this creative mechanism or automatic guidance system within you and how to use it to towards success rather than failure. The method itself consists of learning, practicing, and experiencing new habits of thinking, feeling, imagining, remembering, and acting in order to, number one, develop an adequate and realistic self-image, and number two, use your creative mechanism to bring success, happiness, and other to achieve your goals. So the feelings here are really important. What feelings do you need to start practicing? Most people have the feelings of practicing anxiety, unhappiness, frustration, chronic things going on in their life. It's familiar, it's usual. They keep practicing it over and over and over, and they tell their minds, well, of course I'm feeling this way because this thing's going on in my life. But feelings actually don't come from something outside of you, they come from within. Why can two people in crazy traffic in maybe Los Angeles or Miami, somewhere where there's traffic just built up everywhere, one person is so angry, resentful, they're flipping out, things are going on, they're yelling to the world, I don't like this. And then there's another person turning up the music, having a good time, relaxing, being at peace. How is that possible? Same scenario, same location, same thing. They're both driving past each other, one's screaming out loud, one's enjoying the moment. What's the difference? They've practiced. The feelings don't come from outside themselves. In scenario one, that person never practiced that. They're angry because of all the other things outside of themselves. The other person, though, is practice of feeling, I get to relax when I choose to relax. It's a choice. But it's not an easy choice in that moment. That's why you have to practice. And again, let's go back to the book. The method itself consists in learning, practicing, and experiencing new habits of thinking, feeling, imagining, remembering, and acting. Can you imagine that? What if you practice remembering something different? What if you practice remembering how good things could be in your life over the last 5 years? What if you pretended that things have been going super well? Your images, your mental focus, and your thoughts would change completely. How great would that be, right? So you start your script here, your calling purpose, the new theme in your life, your achievements, your qualities, your principles, your feelings. You practice this. It's not easy. It's going to take effort. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to do this on a more consistent basis. But it's like going to the gym. You got to stay consistent. It's like having a new nutrition meal and following that plan. You got to be consistent. It's like learning piano for the first time. You got to be consistent, right? Anything you do, you got to practice and be consistent with it. So give it a shot in the comments below. Let us know if you want to stay consistent, stay accountable, and comment each day. Day one, I stayed consistent to reading my script out loud. Or feel free to share your script in the comments below. Let our soul tribe kind of help you out, give you some feedback, give you some details on what they see. That would be great. So write yours in the description or in the comments below. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel and here with our soul tribe, please do. I would definitely love to see you here and see more of our content coming out as our soul tribe is starting to relate more to each other, hang out with each other, be around each other even more, and you'll get more and more value from videos like this. And if you haven't already as well, go in the links in the description below and check out our various courses, programs, mentorship, all that good stuff. If you'd like to get some support, accountability, and help on your path. At least for me, my first mentor being Bob Proctor, and I've had other mentors since, that it made my success curve way faster. Because you can rely and be with somebody who's already been there, done that, right? They can see what kind of wounds you're going through or what kind of limitations you don't see or any of this stuff, right? So getting a coach, getting a mentor, getting a teacher can help you bypass that success very quickly and to really help yourself to that next level, go through the uncomfort, have somebody there is a nice thing to support you. So links in the description below to check those out, absolutely. Haug signing off here. I look forward to seeing you over in the next video real soon.